Good evening, everyone. I am Vlad here at Pepsi Center. It is Wednesday, April 18th, 2018, Game 4 of the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. The Colorado Avalanche welcoming in the Nashville Predators for this game. The Avalanche had a chance to send the series back to Nashville for Game 5, tied at 2 games apiece, or they would head back to Nashville in a bid to save their season on Friday night. Well, let's get right to it. If you watched the first 2 periods of this game, you immediately thought, well, this team is cooked. Philip Forsberg got the scoring going for the Predators in the first period, and that would be the score after 1. Colton Sissons and Craig Smith would score 2 goals in the second period, 1 for both of them. And the Avs were down 3-0 after 2. And at that point, you're thinking, this team is done. They hadn't played with the same amount of tenacity and ferocity as they did in Game 3, and it showed. Passes were getting missed, plays were breaking up, and the plays that ended up happening were off of Avalanche mistakes. The third goal, a Craig Smith goal, came at the end of an Avalanche power play as the puck took a weird bounce off a Nashville skate, created a 2-on-1 situation. Craig Smith went up high on Jonathan Bernier, and that was the third goal. So the Predators definitely owned the first 2 periods, but it wasn't going to be that easy. The Avalanche came out for the third and pushed back and sent a message for the Predators for Game 5 that they're not going to go away quietly. Gabriel Landeskog got the scoring for the Avs on a 2-man advantage, as both Hartman and I forget who else went at the same time, but there were 2 Predators that went into the box, and Landeskog converts on one of those power play goal on one of those power plays. Avs are down 3-1. And then a little over 6 minutes later, or almost 6 minutes later, Alex Kerfoot would put the Avs within 1 with his second goal of the postseason. Nieto and Zadorov would get the assist on his goal. Joseph Berry got the assist on the Landeskog goal. And crazily enough, the Avs had their pushback without Jonathan Bernier in goal. He sustained a lower body injury at some point. That's all we know, at some point during the first 40 minutes, and could not finish the game. So Andrew Hammond came in relief, stopped every shot that he faced, gave the Avalanche a chance to draw even with the Predators, but unfortunately the comeback bid fell just 1 goal short, and the final score is Nashville 3, Colorado 2. Nashville takes a 3-1 series lead as the series shifts back to Nashville for Game 5. The Avs are now in a do-or-die situation, and they absolutely have to play their best road game from start to finish in order to force the Game 6 back here at Pepsi Center on Sunday. Sorry, I had an itch in my eye there. There was a lot to love about the Avs push in the third, but there was also a lot to not love about the push only lasting in the third period. This was not a complete game for the Avalanche by any stretch of the imagination. The Predators got off to a great start early, thanks to an early Avalanche penalty, and the Avs just looked out of sorts for 2/3 of the contest tonight. Granted, they were able to flex a little bit of muscle throughout the game with some physical play, but there were some plays that went both ways that were questionable. I didn't see the Andrighetto spear, but you can't go low. You can't go low on a guy like that. It doesn't matter who you are. That's that's not the kind of play that you want to bring to your team. It's dangerous and it's unacceptable. On the other side of things, you can't be whacking the other team's goalie. You can't be putting people at risk with high sticks if you're Nashville. So some questionable plays on both sides. But I got to give some credit to the Avalanche, especially Gabe Landeskog, for sending the message that we're going to play physical and we're not going to just roll over and let you walk out here with a win. And he showed up on the score sheet. He showed up in the physical play category with a lot of hits. And yeah, he ended up going to the penalty box for a play in the earlier in the game where he planted a pred to the ice. Unfortunately, I don't remember who that is right now, but he set the example, and by and large, it was enough to where the Avs were able to start building in the third. So if this ends up being the final game of the season for the Avalanche, at least the final memory will be that they went out at home fighting, and not necessarily in the literal sense, but they had a strong opponent come in here, take a 3-0 lead. The Avs did not have their starting goaltender. They did not have their backup goaltender. They didn't have 2 of their top 4 defensemen. And they still managed to put the President's Trophy winning team on their heels in the final frame. They fought hard, and they did the best they could in that final period. There is a lot of room to grow. There is a lot of room to improve. But I hope that is the message that if this is the final home game, the final message that the Avalanche leave with this fan base that came out to see them tonight, that they were going to skate hard, they were going to put some bodies on the ice, and they were going to keep competing to the final whistle. Hopefully this isn't the final game of the season. I would love to see a Game 6 coming up on Sunday, but it'll mean that the Avalanche will have to play their best road game ever this season in a building where Nashville has had tons of success. So they have their work cut out for them, but they've hung with Nashville so far in every game. They only lost by a multi-goal lead in Game 1, and that was because of an empty net. So the potential is there. They just have to execute. Let's go to a few more numbers here. Nashville outshot the Avs 34-33, so it was pretty close. It may not have felt like it at times, but the shot totals were there. And your 3 stars are Matthias Ekholm, 3rd star, Gabe Landeskog, 2nd star, and Philip Forsberg is your 1st star of the game. Game 5 is in Nashville coming up on Friday night. As I said, that is a 7:30 p.m. local start here in Denver, and it is must-win. And there's no hyperbole attached to that. This is a must-win game. So that says it all. The Avs win. They force Game 6 here. If not, it puts the wrap on a season, and a season that was one where they exceeded all expectations. Hopefully, they can exceed expectations for Friday and bring it back home for a Game 6 on Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here from Pepsi Center. I am Vlad. This has been the Burgundy Rainbow post-game show. Thank you all for watching. For continuing coverage and conversation on the Colorado Avalanche as they now face elimination in their postseason push. Head to burgundyrainbow.com, join the Burgundy Rainbow Discord, and head to the GDT channel. And stay tuned to burgundyrainbow.com for continuing coverage and conversation on the Colorado Avalanche and our other playoff team, the Colorado Eagles, who had... Sorry about that, technical difficulties. So, stay tuned to burgundyrainbow.com for continuing coverage and conversation on the Colorado Avalanche as they make their way through the postseason, and also for coverage on the Colorado Eagles as they continue their quest to defend the Kelly Cup. Until next time, I am Vlad. Let's go Avs.